Okay, I'm gonna start off with a disclaimer. This is gonna be a boring video, so if you don't want to watch it, leave. I frankly do not mind because this is just gonna be information on information on information. For those who want to stay, welcome to another video. It's Magby Productions again, and I'm gonna be telling you everything there is to know about Pokemon. So we're gonna go over what is a Pokemon, the info in a Pokemon game, the Pokedex, IVs, EVs, catching, battling info, breeding, and eggs, regional gimmicks, a short guide to VGC, where I'm gonna link someone who's more well versed in VGC than I am, and the Pokemon lore, which is probably my favorite part. So to start off, what is a Pokemon? Pokemon is an animal associated with certain powers or traits. They're commonly used for battling or, in the Pokemon universe, as a companion, like Ash's Pikachu. Some Pokemon are rarer than others, especially legendary or mythical Pokemon. Even more rare are shiny Pokemon, which are Pokemon that have different colors than normal, and these are about 1 in 8,192 chance of spawning. And some Pokemon, when caught in other regions, have regional form, which is different typing, move, and appearances. So take Slowbro for example. Slowbro in Kanto is a water and psychic type, but in Galar it is a poison and psychic type. And it can be a physical or special attacker in Galar, while in Kanto it's only a special attack. And if you're wondering what physical and special attack means, we'll get to that later in the video. Oh yeah, Magby, he's cute. Now, the Pokemon games. The Pokemon games, at least the normal ones, typically follow a structured plotline. The player chooses their starter, they face off against the rival, they catch more Pokemon, then they start a gym challenge, which is basically they have to beat the 8 gym leaders of their respective region in order to earn the badges. So like, you have to beat Brock to earn the Rock badge, Misty to earn the Water badge in Kanto. Just an example. And they fight off the evil team. So obviously, if you've played Kanto, or if you've even watched this series, then you've heard of Team Rocket, who is the evil team of Kanto. And then they have a final showdown with the rival. The only exception to this, at least that I'm aware of, is the red, blue, and yellow games, in which the rival is the champion. And they take on the Elite Four, and then you have to beat the champion. So, you start off with your starter, fight the gym leaders, beat champion. Now, for the Pokedex. This is the information hub of every Pokemon. It's the go-to place for Pokemon info. It has their details on the types, their base stats, abilities, moves, TMs, and HMs that they learn, evolution, and a lot more. If you want, I can make a more detailed video about this later, but for now this is just going to be a brief overview. So to start, we'll go over the Pokemon types. Pokemon types, each Pokemon has either 1 or 2 types. Usually it's rare to have 1 type now. These types are elemental subclasses that affect what a Pokemon is strong or weak against, and its stat, same type attack bonus. Pokemon's attacks can do either 4 times, 2 times, 1 times, 0.5 times, 0.25 times, or even 0 times damage to another Pokemon, just depending on its type. So this is really important. Next, for Pokemon basics. These are the stats of the Pokemon, obviously. Bigger number equals better. And the base stats define a Pokemon's role. So let's take a look at your mom. Your mom has really high HP and special defense, with mediocre defense. His attack is good, but his special attack is horrible, and it's really slow. So obviously, your mom is meant to be something that just sits in the field and punches at the end of every turn. Next, we're going to go over abilities. These are kind of like Poke Powers, I believe they were called, early Pokemon, that can affect the battle drastically. Some abilities suck and illuminate, and others are broken, such as Regenerator, Huge Power, and Wonder Guard, such as Magic Guard or Guts. Ooh. And you always want to use a Pokemon's abilities to the fullest. So as you can see, Magby here, it's a fire type, and this ability is Vital Spirit. It has a second ability, which is something some Pokemon have, and Magby's second ability is Flame Body, which we'll get to the importance of that in a different version later in the video. Now, for the moves. Different Pokemon learn different moves. Moves can be either special or physical, using the attack or special attack stat. And some moves don't do damage, others protect the user or heal them, and some go kaboom.
Apple Talk.
So obviously Snorlax here, aka your mom, always wants to go for a physical attacking move because its special attack is horrible. Now we're gonna go over evolution. Sometimes Pokemon become stronger, like they quite literally just evolve rapidly compared to modern day animals. These happen in a multitude of ways. So as you can see, this is just Charmander's evolution. I found this GIF on Google and I thought it was cool, so I just put it in the video. And here are the different evolution methods. This is going to be a long one. Here are all the ways that Pokemon can evolve. They evolve by level up, trade, learning a move, max beauty stat, stone evolutions, trade with item, in-game event, using an item on the Pokemon, maximum friendship, trade with another specific Pokemon, dying, punching a Pokemon, leveling up with an item, becoming rich, upside down, being a certain gender, certain time, beating others of the exact same Pokemon, walking. Whew, that was a lot. So yeah, some of those are really specific evolutions, like you have to trade a Shelmet for a Carablast in order to evolve them into Excelgor and Escavalier respectively, and the punching of another Pokemon is pretty much you have to use Rage Fist with just like several times in order to evolve Primeape into an Annihilape, but others, and also the Milotic thing with the beauty stat, but others are more common, like level up evolutions and trade evolutions. Now we're going to go over Pokemon IVs. IVs are independent values that determine how high a stat is after the base stat. So say you have an attack stat of 110. Your attack base stat is 110. I'm not going to tell you the actual thing because I'm not that smart, but it will stay 110 if it has 31 IVs, but say it only has maybe 15 IVs, it can drop down to 90 or maybe 95. So big difference. And they range between 0 to 31. So like I said, 31 IVs is perfect. And you don't control them. You can't control them because they're random when you catch the Pokemon, unless you breed Pokemon over and over again to get perfect IVs with something like a Destiny Bond or a Destiny Knot. So this is just a chart of the IVs. Obviously, 0 IVs are bad, except in a few specific situations where, say, you're playing a Trick Room team in VGC, you want your Ursaluna to be slower than all the other Ursalunas, so you go with an IV of 0. And also, I did forget to include this in the actual slideshow I made, but natures are certain characteristics of a Pokemon that I believe can be changed now or in certain ROM hacks. But for the most part, natures stay the same, and they boost one stat while decreasing another stat by 10%. So, for example, the Adamant nature boosts attack and lowers special attack. Jolly boosts speed while lowering special attack, that kind of thing. Bold boosts defense while lowering attack. And some natures, there are 5 in total that I can't remember the names of, like, I don't know, quirky and bashful natures. Some of those, they do not change any stat because they technically heighten and lower a stat because it's a graph, pretty much. So, anywho, we got the Pokemon EVs now. They're just like IVs, but you can control them. You can have a maximum of 508 per stat, as I go over here, with a max of 252 in an individual stat. And different stat EVs are gained from defeating different Pokemon. So, for example, Rattata, you beat a Rattata, you get 1 speed EV on the Pokemon you beat it with. So, like, you need to murder 252 Rattatas in order to get maximum attack EVs, or speed EVs, my bad. And these take a very long time to perfect. As you can see, bigger is better, bigger number is better, but in some cases, in VGC, you want to have certain Pokemon be slow, and teams built around Trick Room. So as you can see, these are the IVs. The Melmetal, I don't know the ROM hack this is, obviously it's a ROM hack. It has maximum 252 attack IVs, which is really good because Melmetal is a physical attacker, and they're trying to get speed EV, so their Melmetal is not slow, and as you can see, it is slow. Now, catching a Pokemon. This is really straightforward, you throw the ball at it. But different Pokemon, or different Pokeballs, have different chances of catching different Pokemon. Because the Netball catches water types better, Master Ball has a 100% catch rate, the Dusk Ball catches Pokemon in cave or in the dark better. I don't know these off the top of my head, I'm sorry. In normal cases, not with a Master Ball, obviously, because it's 100% catch, right? You need to weaken the opposing Pokemon to catch it. So, like, putting status effects on it, lowering its HP, paralyzing it, status effect, for example. All of them help with the catch rate. And as I said, status conditions can beat Pokemon further. And there's a really complex Pokemon catch rate formula, which to understand you need to be good at math. So that's probably like half of you down the drain. Sorry. So this is the formula. You have to multiply its HP max by the HP current, and then a bunch of other stuff with the bonuses. Its default catch rate, which can vary between 3 to 252. For example, 3 being mythical Pokemon like Victini, 252 probably being like Rattata or something. Battling. You can battle other trainers or NPCs with your Pokemon in the games. In the VGC, there's a lot of battling. In my opinion, this is just how I do my playthroughs typically. Pokemon should know 3 attacking moves and a status move. Spoiler alert, in my Kaiser Wirenmon run, this is not what I'm doing. I'm doing 4 attacking moves because I'm not trying to waste PP. Power points. Stab is when a Pokemon shares a type with one of its moves, boosting its power by 50%. And that is big in battling. Because say your Skarmory is using Headbutt. Okay, you're doing a random playthrough and your Skarmory uses Headbutt, and it just barely doesn't KO the opposing Raticate. Just barely. It's on a sliver of HP. In addition to the catch rate formula, if you used Iron Head, say, it would be a guaranteed 1-hit KO. Because its power is boosted by 50%, and if you got it to less a sliver of HP, obviously that's gonna murder the Raticate. And obviously you should use moves that align with the Pokemon's highest defensive stats. Combining higher attack / special attack with Stab can create absolute powerhouses. Because Garchomp with Dragon Claw and Earthquake, Gengar with Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb, and Meloetta, their favorite Pokemon, as a mixed attacker because some moves have little gimmicks. Relic Song, for example, changes Meloetta's highest attacking stat from special attack to physical, and changes its type as well. So you want, depending on these situations, you want a multitude of moves, as well as some coverage moves. And you want to use your Pokemon's abilities to take advantage of the opponent's weaknesses. So, obviously, if you're going against an all-normal type team, or all-normal, all-water type team, a Shedinja would be broken, especially if they have no coverage moves because of its ability Wonder Guard, meaning it can only take damage from super effective moves. So, there we go. Picture. And breeding and eggs. This is something many people don't understand. You can breed Pokemon with each other to get better / stronger Pokemon. And with a male and female Pokemon breed, the egg becomes a female Pokemon species. So not exactly like real life. It's like you do parthenogenesis, you do a random little funny dance. Pokemon can only breed with each other if the Pokemon share an egg group. So I'm gonna mess your minds up really quickly. Nidoqueen and Nidorina cannot breed, but a Nidoking can breed with a female Nidoran. Because they share the same egg group. So you all can ponder about that and question why Pokemon did this. I feel it's messed up. And Ditto, this is its only use by the way, can breed with any Pokemon that is not in the undiscovered egg group. So Ditto is like, and this is a safe platform. Ditto's a thought, okay? And a Pokemon egg requires walking in-game to hatch. So don't worry, you're not going to have to do a Pokemon Go and walk in real life. I know it's abhorrent and something that you can't process, but you don't have to do that with normal Pokemon games. And this can be sped up if you have a Pokemon in the party that has the Flame Body ability, such as Magby's second ability, which is Flame Body. It actually halves the hatch time. Sometimes, and I mean sometimes, a Pokemon can learn an egg move, which is only possible if one of the parents has it. So for example, Azumarill can learn Belly Drum, but only if one of the Azurill can learn Belly Drum, but only if one of the parents of the bred Azurill actually already know Belly Drum. And hatched Pokemon generally have better IVs than wild-caught ones, which is something that VGC players love to do. Now for the regional gimmicks. I honestly love this meme over here because I hate these two specific gimmicks so much. Z moves in Dynamax. Anyway, starting with the Gen 6 games, or X and Y games, Pokemon added one gimmicky thing to each generation. And Gen 6 was the best, Mega Evolution. No way you've never heard of this, because X and Y was peak. In which the Pokemon would evolve beyond its limits, gaining 100 more base stats and becoming more powerful for that battle. For example, Alakazam is already really good, like in a normal playthrough. It has really high special attack and high speed, which is all that matters. Mega Alakazam gets that boosted immensely. Of course, it's still physically weak, like probably like you could smack it with your hand and it just dies, crumpled over. But it's a demon. It can think really hard and annihilate the entire planet's population. I'm getting distracted. Gen 7 had Z-moves, a one-use per battle move in which the user would use a super powerful move. Some of these have become rather popular in certain formats of Pokemon. Z Celebrate, boosting every single one of the user's stats by 1. Sorry, rant. Gen 8 had Max Pokemon. There are two types of these. In Max state, Pokemon's moves become Max moves with secondary effects, such as Max Guard lowering an attacker's attack, Max Steel Spike increasing the user's defense, Max Flare, I believe is what it's called, summoning the sun. You get the idea. And this took place in two forms. Dynamax Pokemon. Any Pokemon can Dynamax if it's caught as a Dynamax. Literally any. There's no limit. But Gigantamax Pokemon are really rare, since only a few Pokemon can Gigantamax. Only a few specific. It's like Venusaur, Charmander, Charizard, Blastoise, Cinderace. The starters of Kanto and Galar can Gigantamax. Snorlax can for some stupid reason. Gengar, Inteleon, Urshifu, Hatterene, Appleton, Machamp, Melmetal for some reason. I don't know why they brought it back. Whatever. Gigantamax, they go big and really strong G-Max moves. And Gen 9 had Terastallization, in which the user can change their type to any type in the game, which is really good when you just added a new type called Stellar. And this Terastallization thingy affects the move Terrablast, which becomes the type of whatever you Terastallize into. And note to self, the new Stellar type changed Terrablast specifically for its type, because instead of being 80 base power, it was 100 base power, but it lowered the user's attack and special attack stats. Bummer. And now for just a brief run through of VGC, because I do a bit of VGC sometimes. Pokemon VGC, the video game championships, are tournaments in which people compete against each other in battling. You need to design a team that has a really good balance of offense, defense, and a strong win condition. Think Clash Royale, but Pokemon. And you're basically playing two at the same time because it's doubles format. Teams follow like a specific archetype, a certain strategy the team is sending out. Personally, I use Tailwind, but the other ones include Trick Room, Weather, Terrain, like Hatterene and Indeedee, spamming for spam them. Snowballing. I'm sure if anyone plays Pokemon Showdown, they've seen how like Como-O just stat boosts itself to Nirvana and sweeps every single thing on the team. And of course, Stall, Gliscor, Toxapex, Alomomola, Clodsai. I'm looking at all of you. Screw you. Certain Pokemon may be great in one format, but not in another. So think Ursaluna being the absolute beast of Trick Room, and then imagine it playing the Sun or Rain team, especially Rain team, with weak to the boosted water moves. And there's a guy over here. Watch him to learn a lot about VGC. Wolfie VGC is the most decorated Pokemon player, a Pokemon VGC player, with I believe now 10 regional tournament wins. So he is the highest amount of regional tournament wins in the world, and also won the 2016 Pokemon World Championships. So he's pretty good. Watch his videos. I'll link them in the description. And now for my personal favorite, the lore of Pokemon. So this one's gonna be a while. I'm gonna put on my glasses for this one. The Pokemon universe begins with Arceus, a godlike being that emerges from an egg in the void and creates existence itself. Rather than just forming matter, Arceus establishes the structure of reality by creating Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, who embody time, space, and antimatter, with Giratina banished to the Distortion World to preserve balance. It then creates Uxie, Mesprit, and Azel, granting humans knowledge, emotion, and willpower respectively, meaning consciousness itself is part of the universe's design. From there, life spreads, with Mew acting as the genetic ancestor of all Pokemon, linking every species back to a single origin. As the world forms, powerful legendary Pokemon shape and regulate nature. Groudon and Kyogre create land and sea, clashing until Rayquaza restores the balance, while elemental forces appear through Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. In ancient times, Regigigas shapes continents and creates the Golems, Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, later joined by Regieleki and Regidrago, before sealing them away. In Johto, Ho-Oh resurrects 3 fallen Pokemon into Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, symbolizing rebirth, while Lugia withdraws to the ocean, acting as a guardian whose immense power must remain controlled. As human civilization develops, the lore becomes more philosophical and conflict-driven. In Unova, one original great dragon splits into Reshiram and Zekrom, representing truth and ideals, leaving Kyurem as an empty remnant, while the justice-driven Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo rise to protect Pokemon from human harm. In Kalos, Xerneas and Yveltal embody life and destruction, with Zygarde maintaining balance, while in Galar, Eternatus represents an external, destabilizing force of infinite energy opposed by Zacian and Zamazenta. Altogether, the Pokemon lore presents a universe where legendary Pokemon are not just rulers of nature, but the embodiment of reality itself, constantly maintaining balance between creation, destruction, and the forces that hold existence together. Okay, I mispronounced Lugia there. I'm sorry. I'm about to get hate comments for that. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. It helps out a lot. And I do know my last video got a lot of views, so that means a lot of you like my videos that I make and I guess want to know more about it. So you get the notifications if you subscribe and activate the bell icon, and maybe like the video. Put a comment saying, "Oh, I really like this part," or maybe you should do this kind of content in the future. And I'll look at them. I always do. So with that, I hope you enjoyed, and